in scoring, rather. But Shriggs, then you ask yourself, when you look at both rosters, would you want Jonathan Stewart or Christian McCaffrey? Would you want Jericho Cotchery, Ted Ginn Jr., or DJ Moore and, Curtis Samuel?
Oh.
Kind of look at them both,
Hey now.
right?
Hey now.
What do you go with?
Will, that was a 15-1 team. Let's not disrespect a 15-1 team that did a whole bunch of dabbing on the way.
Yeah.
They didn't win the Super Bowl, though.
They did not win the Super Bowl. We'll see, though. Will, we're going to talk about that very topic later on in the show, so Panthers fans, hang tight. But as we approach the start of Week 8, we asked you guys at home to tweet us your toughest fantasy football lineup questions. We've picked out the best to present to our guru, our fantasy expert, Kay Adams, in this week's edition of...
You're getting hard, Triggs.
Fantasy Face-Off.
Here we go.
Here we go. Okay. Now this is crunch time. This is when guys are sitting there with their fantasy team. Guys and gals they're 5-4. They're on the playoff
And they're overthinking.
I'm 6-2, but I don't feel great about it. So let's go to Jam. Jam is our friend on Twitter. Jam. Ben Roethlisberger.
Bam, there comes the man.
Who has the Panthers tomorrow night.
Ooh.
Or Carson Wentz against the Cowboys. Two great quarterbacks. Kay, who you got?
I'm going to pick, I ask you this, where's Big Ben playing? At home. So I'm going to play him. He, at home in 4 games this season, is averaging 300 yards. He's got 10 touchdowns, just a few interceptions. I always like his odds at home. This offense clearly clicking, and I love the matchup against the Panthers. They've given up multiple touchdowns to the quarterback spot in 7 straight weeks. I think he scores at least 2 touchdowns in this one, and that's why I will trust him.
At least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the Cowboys have actually been weirdly tough on quarterbacks from a fantasy perspective. So Carson Wentz, I'm shelving him.
Okay. All right, let's go to Brett. Our guy Brett. Loves
Hi,
the
Brett.
show. He wants to know your advice, Kay, on some running backs. Aaron Jones, these guys are playing in the same game. Aaron Jones or Kenyon Drake. Do you go Jones, or will a Drake finally have a breakout hit?
Oh!
Okay, what do you think?
Aaron Jones has Miami. Do you know, let me ask you this, Kyle, who has allowed more rushing yards in the NFL this season than Miami?
Nobody?
I knew it. Of course. You got to play Aaron Jones. Fumbles aside. Nobody likes
that's
to
a big one.
That's a bad fumble.
I know, but there's really nobody else to give the ball to, is there?
It's
They got rid
fantasy.
of Ty Montgomery, and you're looking at Aaron Jones, who still, despite the fumbles, he has 86 yards a game over the past 2 weeks, which I like to see. He's averaging 5.7 yards per touch, so he's doing something with the ball in his hands. And with Kenyon Drake up against Green Bay, you tell me, Kyle, Frank Gore's just not going away.
No,
he is.
and you'll want him
he
to.
is stiff-arming Father Time. He's just like, nope, not
right.
going to happen. And
He's putting Father Time on angry runs.
that's what I'm saying. He moved past Barry Sanders in all-time scrimmage yards just last week. He's whatever it is about him. And if you're Brock Osweiler, and if you're Adam Gase, you're not taking Gore off the field or limiting his touches because of those other little things that he does on the field. And it's all at Kenyon Drake's expense.
Last week he ran over Father Time and Mother Nature in the same
Crazy.
game. He's a violent dude.
And bad turf from the night before.
I know.
All right, let's go. So next we have
Grass.
a battle of...
Grass.
Grass.
Don't want turf Twitter coming at me.
2 of the best slot receivers in the game.
Yeah.
We have Eddie Kim right here.
Ooh, I like
Who
that.
should he start? Golden Tate, who has the Cowboys, or Julian Edelman up against the Titans?
All right, KB.
Yeah.
Why do you like this one?
Because I love fresh talent in Philly,
Yeah.
and then I've got Edelman on my fantasy team, and he's carrying me. I think it's a good matchup.
You like to take risks.
Sure.
I do not know what Golden Tate's, let alone going to look like in the uniform
Perfect.
and how he fits into the offense. So I'm steering clear of him. Edelman, not very likely to score touchdowns. Maybe Tate goes ahead and grabs one, but the fact that he's got the volume and the trust of Brady and a pretty favorable matchup, you got to go with Edelman, who's 19 touches in the last 2 weeks alone. He's averaging like 10 targets, a week. So we got to go with Edelman here. What do you guys think about that?
I like Golden Tate.
Really?
Yeah, he's too explosive. You don't have a talent like that and trade for him midway through the season. If he's going to dress up, he's going to get the rock. And he's going to have an explosive play. Golden Tate can rip off a 70-yarder. You add a few more catches, he's already over 100 in the first half.
The Cowboys are the second stingiest to wide receivers on the season.
So many Titans, ex-Patriots coaches and players. I think Edelman's going to have a day.
Thank you. Yeah, love that. I'm going to go Edelman. We'll see how it shakes out. I have one for you guys. You guys ready?
Yeah.
It's a fantasy face-off. I don't know if y'all heard that Bad Boys 3 is happening.
Ooh. Yeah, okay.
Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. So I ask you, better 90s sitcom, Fresh Prince or Martin?
This is a tough one.
Damn, Gina.
Fresh Prince is a classic, but I'm going to go with Martin. He's come on Thursday nights. That's my thing. Martin was one of the best stand-up comedians of all time, and then he played multiple characters. Man, he had Shanae, Dragonfly Jones, he had Otis, the list goes on, White Bob. You know, I'm going with Martin.
Both shows were very funny and instrumental in my childhood. But I will go season 4, episode 24, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Papa's got a brand new excuse.
Oh.
Yeah,
What
talk about it,
happens in
Peter.
that one?
Talk about it.
How come you don't want me, man?
How come you don't want me? His hat falls off, emotional.
If you can not cry at that episode, you
was
are
awesome.
a robot and you don't belong on this earth. It is one of the greatest acting scenes and one of the most emotional scenes. I'm going Fresh Prince for the win. It was an amazing show that was funny. And if you don't cry at some Fresh Prince episodes, you're not human.
I'm going to be a better father than he ever was.
He found something there.
I was deep.
LeBron once did a whole tweet series about that exact sequence, about how much it meant to him as a kid. And he's got, you know, his father, parent stuff. Like, it was real. He went there. For me, a little bit lighter. I went to summer camp in about 1988, and every kid was listening to Parents Just Don't Understand. And I thought it was the coolest cassette single ever. And then when I'm like, they're making a show, basically, out of Parents Don't Understand. Coolest thing ever. It's Fresh Prince for me, but also largely in parts that my mother would not let me watch Martin. She did not, it was appropriate. Really? She didn't like Martin. She didn't like Roseanne. It was not good for kids. It was Martin was sort of for adults, and Fresh Prince was sort of for kids. Yeah. So I wasn't allowed to watch, so I got to go to Prince by default.
Love that. What do you guys think? Hashtag GMFB. Thanks for playing Fantasy Face-Off. Up next, Michael Thomas. Yeah, he's never in the face-off on YouTube. Bad idea. Let's talk about something happier. The Saints are #1 in the most recent power rankings, but I want all of you to hit us up with your top 5 on the whiteboards. Your personal, define it how you will, 5 best in the league right now after week 10.
All right. I'll give it a shot. You know, I'm very bad at the mechanics of this, Kay. I'm going to try it. I'm going to go with the Rams down at #5, guys. I'm going to go with #5. I think they got beat, and I'm a little bit worried they got exposed defensively in the secondary. I'm going to go Rams. All right, I got it now.
Yeah.
4, I'm going to go up to the Chiefs. Chiefs, I would like to have them 1 or 2, but there's just no room at the end. I always say it this. They're not power standings. They're power rankings. #3, the Panthers are incredible right now. I've been watching some Baldy breakdowns on the Panthers. Brian Baldinger is way in on what they do on offense, and it gets you so excited. Watch his breakdowns on Twitter. 2, Saints, and #1, the New England Patriots, I think, are the best team in football. They got it going. They got Josh Gordon. Gronk's not even out there yet. I think the Patriots are the best team in football right now.
Have you been practicing?
I'm much better, right? I got better. I went in the dark room, watched myself. Thank you, Kay. Thanks for saying that.
Baldy did a breakdown.
Yeah.
You look
Now
good.
we got a new studio, but I got the busted whiteboard.
Look
and very.
at this.
My
NFL
God.
experience.
Oh, man.
Thanks, guys. Budget's not an issue anymore.
Nope, we're good.
We're flush with
Like the
resources.
Cowboys falling apart.
That's my top 5. The whiteboard doesn't remain, but we went Steelers 5, Chiefs 4, Patriots 3, and then I went the NFC teams. I know they played 2 Rams, 1 Saints, and now I'm going to get in trouble.
I like this. I like this because we're all
Panther
different.
6?
I'm going with the Chargers at 5. I feel like they're not getting the respect they deserve.
All right.
If you really pay attention to their running game and what they're doing, and also their wide receivers, and of course, Bosa's getting back.
100%.
When is Bosa getting back, Nate?
I don't
You keep
know.
saying
He's
it.
coming back. He's
Talking
coming
about
back.
Joey or Nick? I don't even know. The pit boss.
All right, I'm going with
Bosa's
the
the
Pats.
reason why they're 5.
Pats at #4. I'm just not convinced right now that this is the best team in football, but they're in my top 5, of course. The Rams, you know, I can't quit them. They take 1 L, and now all of a sudden everybody's off the bandwagon. Nah, they got them out, buddy. Still one of the best offenses in the business.
Okay.
Saints at #2. And then I'm going with the Chiefs at #1. Yeah, I know you're thinking, well, the Patriots beat the Chiefs. Okay, cool, but they also have 2 losses. I'm looking at the Chiefs, still one of the most
Chiefs over the
explosive
Saints.
offenses.
Yeah, why above the Saints? The Saints look awesome.
They did look awesome, but I feel like if these offenses go blow for blow, I don't believe the Saints offense can keep up with the Chiefs offense.
Where do you 2 have the Panthers?
All right, just keeping it real. Baby.
I have the Steelers at 5, and Kay, you said Panthers. I think it's Steelers,
Play each
Panthers,
other, yeah.
and they play each other, and the winner gets the 5 spot for me.
Winner gets
that
the
what it
5
is? Okay.
spot.
I think so. Yeah, I think the top 3. Top 4, really, to me. These are the cream to the cream. Right?
Do you have the Steelers or the Panthers? How would you rank the Steelers or the Panthers?
Those are the last spot, #5 spot was interchangeable. It was Chargers, Steelers, and Panthers.
Ooh.
The Houston Texans haven't
That's
lost
gonna
a
be a
game
big
in
game.
7 weeks.
No one mentioned them.
But it's like they're getting this rap that they're winning ugly, and they don't have style points.
Who
They
cares?
haven't lost a game in 7 weeks. However, as I always say, it's only 5 teams. There's 32 in the league. I'd have the Texans at 6 or 7.
Winning in Denver is no joke, whether that's the Case Keenum or John Elway. It's a good
Agreed.
place to play.
People love using our whiteboards against us. They did the AFC West and put all our boards
They
up. You know,
screenshot
we
it.
all had the Chiefs at the end.
Screenshot.
Except for Schrager.
Not we all.
Schrager's like, not we all.
Fine, yeah.
We Week 10 kicks off tomorrow night with the Panthers and the Steelers right here on NFL Network. Let's preview the entire slate of games, gentlemen, with something we call Journalism 101. We're asking all the tough questions that they teach you in J-School. So let's start with the Who. Stacked schedule this week. Who is the one player that you, sirs, are eyeing on Sunday?
Golden Tate with the Eagles. The Eagles are coming off their bye, and they're trying to kind of get that rhythm going. They're playing up against the Cowboys at home. Golden Tate, one of those individuals they brought in to make an immediate impact with the injuries they had with Hollins and Wallace. In the beginning of the season, it was Alshon Jeffrey. Seemed like everybody's getting healthy at the right time. And also keep in mind, last year around this time, they went out and got Jay Ajayi, and he is instrumental in that push to the Super Bowl. Golden Tate, before he got traded, his numbers are pretty crazy. 44 receptions, 517 yards, 3 TDs. My man's halfway to 1,000 yards. And I'll just end it by saying this. He's also in a contract year. You don't think a player is motivated after getting traded, you're shipped out of town, knowing that you're at the end of your contract, and the way they're throwing around money in the league, he's going to try to ball out. And he's going to be a big part of this offense because once Carson Wentz drops out of that pocket, which he always does, who do you think is the best at getting yak yards in the league? Golden Tate.
Talking about motivated, Marcus Peters was considered one of the best cornerbacks in the entire NFL, was traded. Everyone scratched their head and say, what's there? And he hasn't been great for the Rams. He battled an injury earlier in the season, and all week long, we're seeing the same play on loop over and over and over again. It's Mike Thomas burning him with Peters looking confused, saying, hey, where do I go? And it's Mike Thomas burning him. And he's had to answer questions. He had a very telling quote after the game. I thought it was very honest, very vulnerable. I thought Marcus Peters here saying, I got beat on the play. I can stand up. I can play better. I've been playing blank these last couple of weeks. And that's just being honest. And you look at Marcus Peters, and he kept on going, with me, I'm going to continue to fight, and that's the type of player I am. Going to get beat in football. You got to go out there and you compete at the highest of your, and blank happens. Like, that's a very defeated attitude, but it seems like he's being honest, vulnerable, and this play is going to haunt him all season long unless he corrects it. So this week, the Rams play the Seahawks. Marcus Peters, I'm not asking you to shut down whoever the guy across from you is and get in his face. I'm just saying, make a play and have the confidence that you can be the Marcus Peters you were the last few seasons.
Confidence? That's him, man. I think Marcus Peters, I think of confidence. I'm really excited for Josh Gordon. My family and I, we have membership to the Bronx Zoo. We go all the time. They have a Bengal tiger there. And 3 or 4 straight times I would bring my 4-year-old Calvin. Tiger's his favorite animal. He always wants to see the tiger. And every time we go to the tiger exhibit, it was sleeping or it was out of view or you could maybe kind of see its tail. And it was so disappointing. Finally, Calvin said, I don't want to go see the tiger. We went one more time. And we saw the tiger at feeding time, and it was unbelievable. This thing roared, it's running, it's like a National Geographic, it's incredible. And Calvin's hair blows back. That's how I felt seeing Josh Gordon with the big touchdown on the field for the Patriots. We saw the Bengal tiger we've been waiting for years. And the other thing I would like to see down the stretch, if number 10 keeps this up, I would just love to see a shot of every coach, every personnel man, every defensive player in the AFC saying, how the bleep did we let this happen? It is upon us. We should have stopped this from happening because their New England Patriots are in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs again with the Bengal Tiger, and it's our fault. It always ends that way. So shout out to the Bengal Tigers and shout out to Josh Gordon. I cannot wait to watch him this weekend.
And they're playing who? The Titans?
Look at that.
How about Malcolm Butler? I would love to keep watching.
You have to guard the Bengal.
He has not had a great season. You're talking Marcus Peters. I mean, one of the worst cornerbacks in the National Football League right now is Malcolm Butler in a revenge game up against the coach who benched him in the Super Bowl. That's what I've got my eye on. All right, next up, it is that time of the season. Gentlemen, when we get to talk about serious playoff ins and outs, which team needs a win the most in Week 10, Peter?
The team that I think needs to win has nothing to do with playoff implications. To me, New York Jets need to win a game. New York Jets went to win a game because they looked great in week 1, and then suddenly things just hit the skids. And if you're Todd Bowles and you're looking at back-to-back 6-10 seasons, and now you do it again, and they're on pace having a 6-10 season, you don't get much longer of a rope than that. No. So if I'm a New York Jets player, if I'm a New York Jets coach, I am saying we have the Buffalo Bills up ahead this weekend. It's either going to be Nathan Peterman, Josh Allen, or some version of Matt Barkley that no one has seen. The Jets need to win this game. If the Jets do not win this game, not only will the back pages be talking, but I think people around the league will be talking and saying, is it time to move on from what they've got currently going on there?
Well, you want to talk, and I'm going to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to Philadelphia. I think they have 2 division games in the next 3 weeks. I think this might be the biggest stretch for the Dallas Cowboys in 20 years. Because if this thing completely falls apart, and you could talk about the coach getting fired and the coordinator getting fired. I don't know what Dak's future is if he doesn't. I'm talking about a full crumbling of the organization if this doesn't come right. However, you go to Philadelphia on national television and you beat the world champs in their house. all of a sudden it's how about them Cowboys. Dak plays well. The offense clicks. This is a hugely pivotal game, not for the season, for the era, for the company. The Cowboys need it like they never have.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Jags, man. I know I keep going back to the Jags. I just mentioned that Blake Bortles could have a better second half of the season coming up with Leonard Fournette being at running back. But when you look at the way they've been starting these games, in the first half, they've been outscored 67-6. You know, I think back to when me and my boys were hanging out in high school, and we'd go out, and the whole point was just to get a girl's number. And if you got one girl's number, if you got that first one, you got a rhythm, and you were good. The rest of the day, you were fine. I feel like they haven't did that. They went up there and they're getting rejected every single time they start this offense. And this offense hasn't got going. This offense doesn't have playmakers. This offense can't get the running game going. So Leonard Fournette finally being back, helping out this offense, this could get things going. They're minus 11 turnover margin. Last year, they were plus 10 all of last season.
Yikes.
So these guys are getting rid of the ball and not starting the game strong. At some point, these guys got to look in the mirror, stop talking trash, stop saying stuff to the media, and start the game on fast. And not the defense hitting and flying around. Offense, you got to score some damn points. So I need these guys to go out and hit this team in the mouth. They're playing against the Colts, a team that they can beat. So after losing 4, you got to get right, man. Jax, you got to get right, because if you want to be the team from last year, it's slipping away, baby. It's slipping away.
Packers are at home against the Dolphins. If they lose this game, they're done for the season. They got to win this game at home. Must win, in my opinion. All right, hashtag GMFB. We'll be back after this with DJ Moore and the Panthers.